Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another busy webinar. It's Wednesday at noon. It's our traditional time. It's the first of the month. Hopefully you're enjoying some beautiful weather. Here in the Twin Cities, it's overcast and rainy and is time enough for our favorite time of year, which is road construction. So my name is Trigvi. I'm the Director of New Buzz Development here at BusyWeb. Today we're going to be talking about how to drive new business with social media. So thanks everybody for joining us. Just a couple of administrative notes. If you're new to the Busy webinar, we're going to do our best to try and entertain you and educate you. But if you miss something or if you'd like a copy of the deck afterwards, I'm going to post this to YouTube so that you can have it. Also, we're going to be available, and I will share my contact information with you so that you can have it in case you want to reach out to me. So here's what we're going to be doing today. My name is Trigvi. Again, that's a picture of me. My number and emails can be found there as well. So I'd be more than happy to share anything with you if you're interested in our services, if you just want somebody to talk to, if you want somebody who is sort of a disinterested third party to ask some questions to you, I'd be more than happy to be a resource for you. If you're not familiar with BusyWeb, we are a full-service digital marketing agency. This is a picture of our offices in Champlin, Minnesota. We handle everything under the sun, from web design to web development to social media, search engine marketing, search engine optimization, content creation, email marketing, anything under the sun. So some of our favorite projects over the years, we've done a lot of really amazing things. And if you want to see some more, you're certainly happy to check out our website. Biggest project that we've had to date, there was a local fella who was a singer whose name was Prince, and we were lucky enough to do a website for him before he passed away several years ago. So let's go ahead and get started. So first things first, when you open a business and you start a business and you read one of those sales books, they'll tell you about the marketing funnel, and they'll tell you about the sales funnel and what it looks like. So this is kind of what it should look like, right? You spend a majority of your time prospecting, getting a number of people involved, talking to them about your business, having an awareness about what you are and what you do. Then you're going to be spending less time weeding out those people that aren't good fits. And then you're going to be spending even less time trying to close those new businesses by getting them to come into the door. This is pretty standard. This is Business School 101. They teach it on the first day. Trouble is, it's wrong. With the advent of the internet and the advent of social media marketing, really, it becomes even more crucial to be open and available 24/7. You're not just creating a store that people can go to during business hours. They're going to be shopping on their own time when they are ready. So having a marketing platform that is advantageous to you, not just during the day, but at 10 o'clock at night on a Tuesday, that's going to be crucial for you. And this is what the marketing funnel looks like now. You spend the least amount of your time keeping those people, and you spend the majority of your time trying to continue to engage those people across the board. So what does that mean when I say engagement? Well, in this new marketing world, you're going to spend less time finding new customers and more time engaging your existing happy customers. Why is that? It's because with the flick of a switch and the typing of a phrase into Google, they can find a number of people who do what you do. So social media in combination with email and other email marketing activities, it levels the playing field for smaller organizations to compete with the big boys. So word travels quickly on social media. We're going to learn how to leverage that today. And more importantly, people trust the reviews they see on social media. So have you ever heard of a business or an event because of something interesting you've seen posted on social media? Happened to me this morning. I found an app that blind people can log into, and using the camera on their phones, they can have somebody read or interpret something. So I immediately signed up because I thought it was amazing. One major advantage of social media is that people usually have friends who are like them. So if a bunch of your loyal customers like you on Facebook and they share something about your organization to their friends, chances are good you're going to get extended visibility among a very targeted audience for your business. But again, that starts with your existing customers. The more they share about you on social media, the more their friends, family, and peers are going to see your name, ultimately helping you get in front of potential leads without really spending any existing time or money. And you notice on screen here, I've got a number of social media platforms, but I also definitely include email marketing as part of that. We'll get into that as we go along. So with the rise of social media use over the last several years, a lot of businesses are seeing great results from their effort. In fact, one study shows that 78% of people say that a company's social media use influences their purchasing decisions. Social media interactions also play an important part of decision making as well. That same study said 73% are likely to buy from a brand that responds on social media. And finally, 84% of social media users share their support for a cause to show that they are in fact active in the community as well. So all in all, there's a great impact. And the question is, how do you go about leveraging that for you? Well, it starts with the basics. You actually have a great competitive advantage. You have an authentic connection with your audience. This is great news for you because big brands don't have resources to create personal connections with their audience like a small business can. That's one really great major advantage of being small. You're able to interact with your audience on a personal level, which is a perfect dynamic for social media. What do you use social media for? Well, social media affords you to do a couple of different things. It affords you the opportunity to stay in touch with current and potential customers, even when they're not visiting your store. And you can also nurture those relationships and continue to expand to new relationships. You can also grow your email list, which is another amazing tool that we'll talk about as well. Email allows you to directly reach your customers and amplify your social media efforts. So with social media, you're going to have the opportunity to grow your business by generating new leads and nurturing those relationships. All of this effort, ultimately, what will happen is it will get people to like, know, and trust you. So that's what we're hoping for today. So this is all really important in helping your business. So here's how I'm going to break it down today. So first, we're going to talk about some of the most popular social media sites and how you can decide which one to use for your business. Then once you're up and running, the next step is content. I'll talk about how to create content and use content to expand and grow your business as well. After that, we'll talk about social media advertising, some of the basics of how it works and some of the different tools. We'll also talk about utilizing social media to grow your mailing list and how you're going to use email marketing to further nurture those relationships. And then last but not least, we'll talk about the important metrics you're going to look for in order to determine whether or not you're actually being successful on social media. Ready? Here we go. Let's start with the basics. Let's talk about the top social media sites. There are literally dozens of social media platforms out there. So part of what we're going to talk about today is understanding the benefit of each platform so you can determine which one is the right one for your organization or your audience. You're likely already using email to communicate with your audience, but you want to start by choosing one social media platform that best fits your business and where your audience is. So there are four main features of what you really should look at. Whether or not, number one, there's networking. Number two, is there photo sharing? Third, can you include recorded video? And then fourthly, can you do live video? Video is one of the most powerful online tools for businesses, but it's often seen as a challenge because it requires time and effort more than other forms of content. So the great thing is with streaming video, it makes hard to ignore the potential for your business. So for example, over 6 billion hours of video are watched on YouTube each month. That's an enormous potential audience that we want to see if we can leverage if possible. Recorded video allows you to produce a video to engage your audience. It doesn't have to be great, but it does give you the opportunity to do a lot of things. So right now, Facebook Live is the most popular platform with this feature. Obviously, others are coming up to speed as well. So I'm going to go through a couple of these real quick just to sort of get to hit the high points. A lot of these will be names that you've already known, but some you might not know explicitly what the value for business is. So we'll start with Facebook. It's one of the initial most popular social networks. It allows your business to be more discoverable and connect with your audience. On Facebook, you can have one-on-one conversations with your customers who have the ability to like your page and then read the posts you share. Facebook has over 1 billion users. It's the most active users on any social media platform. So it's also a low volume network, so don't post too frequently. Your fans may get frustrated. The true business benefit in using Facebook is that it's a great advertising platform. And I'll get into that when we talk more about Facebook advertising. Twitter is the place where people come to discover what's happening in the world. They're also able to share information and post instantly to make connections with other individuals and businesses very, very quickly, or politicians for that matter. A business in almost any industry can see results using Twitter, but looking at some of the most successful brands using it, some of the most popular industries that really use the tool well are technology, food and beverage, retail, and entertainment. Twitter is what's considered to be a micro-blogging site, meaning the information posted is very, very short. Depending upon how old your phone is, it could be 140 or 280 characters. So you want to make sure that if you're providing something, it's as short as possible. Twitter is an incredibly high volume network, so you need to share more here because of its fast-paced nature. By and large, I recommend posting a minimum of 3 to 5 times today to stay relevant in your news feed. It's also one of the fastest ways to reach your audiences. Many businesses use Twitter as a form of customer service. I know Xfinity, Comcast does, a lot of different places do. It's really a great use. If you're curious about how that works, go on Twitter and complain about your Comcast service. Within about 15 minutes, you will get a response from somebody. The value here is that it's a fast way to reach your audience and do customer service. LinkedIn has a much different environment than anything else. The purpose of LinkedIn is mostly B2B. An ideal post on LinkedIn would be about 600 characters, so about a paragraph. You want to aim for more formal, more technical content around your business and industry. With that in mind, things you can share are things like studies, reports, presentations you've done, case studies, ebooks. Anything that ensures you're sharing content that's relevant to your industry and business is generally considered a positive. LinkedIn is a low volume network compared to the others, so make sure that your content doesn't dominate the feed. LinkedIn is a platform where you want to establish expertise in your specific niche, and also a great way to network as well. So business benefit here, networking within your industry and establishing your expertise. Pinterest is a fun platform that I like a lot because it's not a question of what did happen, it's a question of what could happen. So Pinterest is a virtual bulletin board that allows users to find and curate images and videos. This platform allows you to use pictures or infographics or videos as a type of currency that sort of supplements a web page or a blog post. So if you have a really great visual to offer, Pinterest would be a great place to be. Something like photography, again, fashion, food, anything that is a visual medium. So when you use your photos, make sure that they're interesting, make sure that they're high quality, use some keywords to help get found. In terms of posting frequency, Pinterest is much like Twitter. It moves very fast, so you want to pin at least 5 times a week. Probably not a whole lot more than that, maybe no more than about 10. So using Pinterest for business helps increase your visibility. It's going to increase your SEO to help find your website. Plus, it's a fun way to find projects that other people do really beautiful work on. Finally, Instagram it's a mobile photo editing and sharing app that helps you create stunning images that can be easily used on all your other social platforms. If you work on Pinterest, chances are good you should be working on Instagram as well. So anything that can create a really amazing photo, you should be using. With Instagram, really what you do is you use your images to tell a story and not just blast out your branding. So most Instagram pictures fall into 1 or 2 categories, something that's really pretty or something that's really funny. Instagram also uses hashtags, much like other services as well, but it's a low volume network. So if you do post more than a couple times a week, you certainly can, but it might harm your business as well. Wow, that was not a well-formed sentence on my part. Let me try that again. Instagram is a low volume network. So if you're going to post, do it a couple of times a day. If you have a very highly visual industry, if you don't, try and limit it to once a day or so. Okay, so we talked about the most popular social media sites. Hopefully you've been able to figure out which one is the most valuable for you, that works best with your organization's goals and target audiences. Next step is to set up your page. So this is a very complicated and intricate process, which involves filling out a form. That's it. To create a Facebook page, which is what I have here, you add your company name, your description, any contact information, any hours. You want to add some photography, so like the picture of the yellow lab there, and that's it. You can customize your page to a certain extent, but that's it. It's very easy to do. If you want us to open a Facebook page, just go to facebook.com/pages and you'll be able to do it. It takes maybe 10 minutes, the same with Twitter, the same with Instagram, the same with LinkedIn. Once you've done that, your next step is to actually announce your presence. So once you start up your profile, everyone starts with 0 fans or followers. So what do you do then? What do you need to hope to happen once you activate your profile? Well, the actual answer is nothing's going to happen to your profile until you start letting people know that you're there. So the next crucial step is to invite and announce your presence. You can invite people to tell them about your presence on social media if you expect them to find you and follow you. Ton of really great ways to do this. Some of the highlights, some of the things that we use as best practices here at BusyWeb. Things like doing it in your email, letting people know, hey, we're out there, please follow us, and here's how to do it. You never want to give somebody the opportunity to have to go find it on their own. If they can just look for it and you provide it right there, it's going to be perfect. Also provide it to them on your website. Make it easy as possible. Post your blog to your social sites that leads back to your website to create a cycle effect. Current potential customers, they're always visiting your website. So again, anytime you want to do that, right down here, you can see there's some clickable icons right here that allow you to do what you need to do in order to let people go exactly to your site. Don't forget about sharing your profile link to other social media profiles. So if you've got a Twitter feed, that's great. Share your Facebook page on it. If you've got a Facebook page, share your Twitter feed. People who like you on Facebook already have a vested interest in your organization, and they'll be more likely to follow you on other ones as well. This will help your audience connect with you on all of your social media channels, and they won't miss anything important. So a lot of times at this point, people say, well, should I post the same piece of content to both places? The answer is yes. And if somebody sees that and they get annoyed by it, probably not going to be a good fit for your business anyway. Sometimes it's not enough, though, to expect your audience to find you. Even there are people out there who would love what you offer on social media. They might not have the time or awareness to seek out your page. So one of the most effective, although slightly time-consuming methods of building your network is to seek out your existing audience and engage with them on their page. So when somebody follows with you on a social media network and engages with you, search out those people when you begin using a new network. Think about the people who comment or mention you. These are the people you want to be sure to seek out on new social channels. You can interact with these people in a variety of different ways, and following their page, liking their page, sharing their posts, even commenting to further engage with them. So one of the things that even happened to me last night is I'm adding my daughter onto our our mobile plan. I can't say cell phone. She says I'm old when I say that. Our mobile plan. And I spent about an hour and a half on the phone with an AT&T representative. And afterward, I tweeted out how happy I was with the service. And so this guy who's a customer service rep in Ohio got a full mention to the 8 million people that AT&T Wireless follows because they can, because I said something nice about them. Following like-minded organizations will give you a couple of different benefits to growing your network. First, you'll be able to pay attention to how they use social media, pay attention to how they get the most engagement. So do they see tons of likes when they share articles about industry trends, or do they get lots of shares when they post videos? It's likely your target audience will be similar, so you want to probably see the same success if you test out what they're doing with your own social pages. This also allows you to create partnerships with others who complement your products or services. So if you connect with a complementary service organization, you can create a mutually beneficial relationship. Meaning if your particular service really works well with another service, chances are good you're going to be looking for the same kind of people. Okay, now we're down to the $64,000 question. Oh my gosh, what on earth do I write? Oh my gosh, what on earth do I share with the people that I'm trying to work with? Well, there's 4 different ways that makes content shareable. So before we get into the types of actual content, it's important to understand what makes engaging and shareable content. The bottom line is that content that's shared is going to help spread the word about your business. So you reach more people, but how do you make sure that the content that you create encourages people to share? So if you just share a post just because you feel you're supposed to share something, you could be wasting your time. Posting content that's shareable by your audience means that you'll get increased visibility for your business and reach more people. So when one of your existing fans shares your post, they're sharing it with their friends and followers. The more people you get to do that, the more successful you get to be. A couple of things to consider in order to make your content more shareable. Number one, it needs to be useful to the audience. So think about content that educates with hints and tips or even do-it-yourself information. You also want to make it engaging, which means you're asking them to take some sort of action, watch a video, or click on a link or something like that. Also, like with your email, visuals help break up the text or share an infographic that'll really catch their attention. One of the most common things that gets their attention is emotion. This is where the crazy cat videos come into play. Your content needs to elicit some type of emotion that makes them want to share the post with their friends and followers. Even, I put a cute baby picture on there to make my point. So visuals are a really vital aspect of content that makes your post engaging. So 67% of consumers believe that images are a very important factor when selecting and purchasing a product. So you want to use imagery to draw your readers in to take more actions. So not just images, but links or video as well. So if you can provide a picture of your product. So in that case, you see there's a fire pit. So I can tell you that I have a fire pit available, but if you actually see it, it's a much different enterprise as well. So here's a great idea to share, especially if you're a service-based product, is do a before and after comparison. If you look at the one on the left, that's not very appetizing, or that's not something you want to be in. But if you look at the one on the right, the question that you ask yourself and what starts happening is, what would it be like if I were there right now? And you start imagining how it would feel, which one of the chairs you would sit on, what kind of emotion that would feel. So once you start posting that content, you're going to recognize what works best for your audience. And so this helps draw people in when they realize what they could get as an end product. So part of creating great content is also including keywords and hashtags that are relevant to what you're sharing. This really helps catch your audience attention and even picks up some yardage that you might not even know about. So if you go on Pinterest looking for a chicken recipe, any pin that has the word chicken in it will pull up, even if it's really old. So what's the difference between keywords and hashtags? Well, they're both used to categorize people and post to help searchers to find who and what they're looking for. So figure it's a classification. Hashtags are specific to content. So you don't use a hashtag to refer to another user. So look at this Instagram example I have on there. So when you look for hashtag dog, you can see all the different conversations people are having about dogs. This is also a really great way to find out what topics are trending, since you can see which hashtags are being used the most. Once you do that, share the content that follows those trends and include those popular hashtags whenever possible. So let's see what happens when we remove the hashtag and just simply look for the keyword dog. Now, all of a sudden, we're starting to get profiles as well. So keywords and hashtags are both equally important, and they help your visibility in a couple of different ways. Now, if you're looking to save a little time or inspiration on what you might post, you can find ideas just about anywhere. Start by looking at the content that's on your website. Think about what's new on your website, new products, new services, or even a blog post. Then you can share that content that you've created on one site with all of your other social networks. This ensures that your social media audience, no matter what site they use, has the most up-to-date information from you. Don't forget your emails. The ultimate goal of the posts that you're sharing is to drive people to your website, to a link, or to fill out a form. So talk a little bit about sharing emails on social media. This is really when you can start talking about how you can see benefits from repurposing email content somewhere else. So on the left, we created a email that lists out, hey, we've got some new menu items. Here's what they are. But really, what's the question that I'm asking you to do here? I'm not asking if you're hungry. I'm not asking if you're thirsty. I'm asking, please come in and here's how you do it. Click on the make a reservation button. So that being said, on social media, again, we're using social media to try and drive somebody somewhere else. So much like a button of clicking that says make a reservation, if I show you the food and say, check out our new menu items, then in order to get there, you click on it and it takes you further and back to the website, hopefully to make a reservation. It's also really a relief to know that you don't have to create every new piece of content you share. You can also share content from other people. It saves you time. It also helps you build relationships with other people and increase your following. So you do this in a couple of different ways. Number one, share posts from your target audience. It's one way you can interact with your followers and make your audience feel included. Next, you can also share content from similar businesses to help build credibility. And finally, you can curate content from a credible source and then add your own spin. That's the most important thing, is actually adding your own spin so that people know that even if you're sharing something from someone else, you've read it and you endorse it, so that you rebuilding that trust factor. There's one thing last thing I really want you to think of in terms of content, as it really matters with social media today. No matter in social media or even in email marketing, you have to strike the right balance that'll help your customers know, like, and trust you. So nobody likes to be sold every single minute of every single day. That's why the 80-20 rule is so important. So 80% of the time, post valuable, interesting content, and then 20% of the time, post promotional content. That's really critical in making sure. And promotional content, again, is not asking people to buy something. It's sharing something that is an action of some kind. So remember the barbecue restaurant I showed you earlier. Making a reservation, if you get somebody to do that, that's a promotional piece of content. So there's a lot of really great tools out there that you can aggregate your posts and write a whole bunch of them all together. One of the cool ones is called Social Suite. And you can see here that you can actually break it down by channel, write anything, and actually create some reporting as well. So everything just sort of goes out automatically. The great value there is you don't have to wake up every single morning and think, oh my gosh, what do I need to do today? What do I need to write today? Especially if you're being uncreative. One of the worst things in the world you can ever have to deal with is a blank piece of paper. So Creating a lot of posts in clusters and then having them go out on an individual basis is fantastic. So now that you have some ideas on what to post, I want to switch gears a little and talk about social advertising. So social media alone is great, but the truth of organic reach or reaching people with just your posts is pretty limited. One study that I read reports that pages on Facebook have about a 2% natural reach without paying. So seeing ads on social media is one of the top ways users learn about any type of business or nonprofit. It's also one of the best ways to extend your reach. So when social media users see an ad, about 25% of those people respond by visiting the location, and then about 14% take an action like purchasing a product or service. So that's a tremendous amount of value for not a lot of money. How does social media advertising work? Well, it depends on the platform. So first you need to, this is something I pulled off of Facebook for the barbecue joint. First, you need to pick a relevant message or promotion that your audience will need to see. You want to be able to some text or an image or a video to kind of support that message. Then you define the audience you're targeting. Where are they? Who are they? What do they like? Things like that. In some cases, you'll be able to target based on things like gender, age, location, or even another specific complementary interest. So lastly, you need to set a daily budget for your ad and choose the duration of how long your ad will run. Most social platforms charge you based on the reach of your post and how much engagement that it gets. So by and large, you should, in terms of a budget, I'd recommend thinking at least $10 a day every single day if you want to take advantage of this. So a lot of social media platforms have the ability to create ads. You can see all of the major ones have them there, but the fees are really based on a number of different things, like, again, how many people clicked your ad and how many people followed you. So it's important to understand the value of each advertising platform before you start going into it. So let's get into our final one, which is growing your list. One of the best benefits of using social media and email together is you get more customer engagement. Really, what we need to leverage both platforms to do is to get the maximum amount of exposure. Email helps you send a communication directly to your subscribers and has a 97% deliverability rate. So with the 2% that you get from social media, you actually get a ton more actual customer engagement. Once somebody follows you on social media, ask them to sign up to your mailing list so you can nurture the lead through email marketing. Email marketing is a really effective way to communicate because you have a one-to-one communication to their inbox as opposed to the one-to-one communication you might be having on a social media platform, but it's visible to hundreds and hundreds of people at the same time. You also get more customers. This is not, I'm not using this to downplay the use of social media, but more to tell you how great and exponentially it can grow is if you have two things working together. So social media marketing isn't a silver bullet by any means. It does provide value to your business, but if you really want more of a holistic marketing solution to really move the needle and grow your business and grow your leads, you have to be doing more than one thing. And you also get 39% more business removal statistically. So what does this really look like in terms of how do you do it? Well, one of the things that we recommend, add a sign up link to your profile. You can see here, I found one on Instagram, in Facebook, in Twitter, anywhere. You can also include a call to action in order to join. So if you want to say, hey, do you want to learn more about me? Click here. So you can also add an email sign up tab to your Facebook page, which is a really fantastic thing to show people how you're ready to be engaged on the next level as well. Next, you can actually add an email sign up link within a post itself. This is something that a lot of people don't do because they think, well, gosh, if I'm already sending you the email, why do I have to ask you to sign up? Well, one of the goals in emailing people is you want to have them forward to other people. So you want that other person, that one level removed from you, to be able to sign back up. Now, all of a sudden, you've got a bit of a warm lead. One of the other great benefits of using email and social together is it creates the opportunity to use email metrics to make social decisions. So, for instance, if you send out this email that says, here are our 5 social media platforms, you can actually figure out by how many people clicked on them, what are the most valuable ones that you should be using, and should you get rid of ones. I would argue that 2 people isn't a valuable tool for you as compared with 11 or 10 from other places as well. So you get the opportunity to kind of leverage that into making a good decision and making a database decision. So you've got a lot of great information on how to get started with social media, how to leverage this for better businesses. And so I want to just sum up a couple of things here. How do you get started? It's pretty simple. Pick your platform, start a business profile, or make a post. Excuse me. That's it. This isn't rocket science. This isn't something that you can screw up too badly. So this is one of those times where momentum is a good thing. Start a business profile, make some posts, learn as you go and learn as you grow as well. Finally, one of the things that we're going to provide you for staying with me this far is I want to provide you with a bit of an auditing tool for your website. If you go to busyweb.com/buzz, it takes about a minute and fill out a form, and we'll give you about a 15-page report on the value of your website, what you need to look at, things you need to change, things you need to alter. It's a great free resource that we offer. I'd encourage you to do so because any of your social channels that you're going to be building and leveraging, you're going to be pushing them back to your website. So if your website isn't functioning the way you want it to or telling the story you want it to, it's time for a change. And then lastly, just wanted to say you really can do this. And if you need help, we are here to help. You have all the marketing tools you have in one place. All the puzzle pieces are turned the right way. You just need to figure out how to get them to connect and fit for you. Is that email? Is that social? Is that email and social together? That's a decision you need to make on your own, but one that will definitely help grow your business as well. So finally, here is my contact information. Again, my name's Trygve. I'm the Director of Buzz Development here at BusyWeb. I really thank you for sticking with me. And if you have any questions, feel free and reach out to me. But we'll look forward to seeing you again at our next Busy webinar. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week.